Hello, my name is Oliver Lisker, and I am the creator of the film opening for Relative. Relative is a coming-of-age film. I took major inspiration from 90s and early 2000s films, as well as some old Disney Channel ones. This is mostly for a nostalgic and sort of comfortable feel, and half so that right off the bat the viewer is aware of the genre. I knew that I wanted my film to be relatable to the real world as much as possible, so to try and get that effect, I used my real-life friend group as the actors. This kept an amount of diversity in the cast, and it was pretty realistic because it's real. Stereotypes that I used included irresponsible teenagers. This was represented the most in Cal with being late to everything. I also foreshadowed a little friends to lovers trope with Cal and Char's characters, using shot reverse shots to show their relationship, and I gave Cal a little aside about their friendship. Their conversation is meant to be lighthearted and playful despite the inconvenience of the situation because Cal is so late, and if I was able to continue the film, the two would definitely end up together. On the opposite side of the spectrum, there is an abusive relationship shown immediately after Cal and Char's healthy one, for contrast and also to show how they could potentially end up. The trope of the mean older brother is shown through Miles' behavior towards Alex, and as well as in Cal's description of him. Relative is supposed to be a series of seemingly unrelated stories that become connected at the end by Cal, who narrates the entire story. In the real world, it would be targeted towards 10 to 16-year-olds. The subtle theme of interconnectedness among different groups of people is something that I think is really important for young people to see and understand. The goal with Relative overall is just to show how different people can be, but at the end of the day, we're still human. We all are connected to each other in some way. At the beginning of the project, I had a very clear understanding of what I wanted the film to look like. Right off the bat, from the script, from the storyboard, I knew exactly what it would look like in my head. But my head isn't the real world, and when you have such a set-in-stone image of something and it doesn't turn out exactly like that, it can be frustrating. But as I continued to work and grow as a filmmaker, I realized that changes in the story or the way that the film is portrayed are part of the process and can work out for the better. I experimented with different aspects of the film, and I believe that is a huge part of getting a quality production that feels authentic rather than entirely script-based. By the end of the project, I had 3 partially edited versions of the film, each unique in their own way due to my experiments. For example, I played around with different filters, like here you can see a slightly blue tint as compared to when you see the same exact scenes and shots earlier in the film where I had more of a brown grainy filter. And here there is more of a reddish tone to show the character's aggressiveness. Something else that I played around with a lot was music. I wanted each group of characters to have their own sort of leitmotif. It was composed by me and my band, specifically the drummer, and I really messed around with a lot of different song options. I think I went through 3 different options before landing on the music that I did in this film. As happy as I am with the final cut, I know that a lot of the music aspects could have been a lot better. While the second piece was composed on GarageBand by Joe Rosie, the drummer, the first piece was recorded on my Samsung Galaxy S22 Plus phone in a garage. So it really didn't have the same quality level as the second piece, and you can hear that in the film. And it was a little frustrating, but there really was no workaround to this because I can't bring a condenser mic into a garage. It just won't have a good effect. And I also don't have access to a recording studio. To film the project, I was originally going to use a cinematic camera, which one of my friends has. It would have been so much more professional looking. However, said friend couldn't make it to my house to film. I ended up using the same Samsung S22 Plus phone camera to film, and I think it came out pretty nicely. To edit, I used CapCut just because of its user-friendly interface and the fact that it was already on my phone, so I could edit it from anywhere that I was. There was a lot of trial and error with this project, a lot of experimenting with new things, and a lot of learning and growth. I'm so glad I had the opportunity to do something like this.